Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to an episode of Race Mania. This time, starting at the front, is a four-wheeled off-road pigeon, or STI-G as it's called, but it's basically a pigeon on four wheels. And like the last episode, we had the DSC Borer. Open-wheel cars don't tend to do the best. And in second place, we have an ETK with two holes in the front of it. And this thing's meant to be like one of the hooligan cars. But for some reason, this one seems to be missing the four turbos that come with it, so it's just like a bog standard ETK. Then in third is a rather dark green this time, Persima street tuned car, which always seems to sneak through but is yet to win a round. And the same can be said for this very orange, definitely very orange Caldera that we have this time. And then at the back, the car that needs to take victory, the Pursue or Supra drag car. And this thing, it's won mainly by luck. As I say, you could call it skill, but I think it's more luck. They just managed to get through everything every single time. So it's time to set all these cars off now, and let's see how long the pigeon can last. Because in all of the test runs, it never got further than the bridge after the turn 1 and 2 chicane. But that's off from the pigeon, where everything's made contact with each other except for the car out in front, the pigeon. Okay, here comes the contact. Okay, that's going in between the wheels. So that's what it needs. That's what the pigeon needs to find. Look at that. Perfect fit as well. Just where the wheel arch is just nudging between. So far, everything really has been fairly tame off the start, mainly because the ETK has wedged itself in between the wheels of the pigeon. I mean, if this is the way the pigeon has to survive, then by all means, that's the way it will survive. Actually, the Supra has dropped away a little bit, so that's done quite a bit of damage to the rear of itself. Oh no, there it goes. There it goes. It locked on the rear wheels, and okay, everything is imploded. Everything is just imploded. Okay, well, they're not connected at least anymore. The Seamer's going into the wall. The Caldera's following it into the wall. And the Supra, that's going to smash into the wall, is it? I mean, it could have hit on the rear wheel, but the question is, are the front wheels still intact? Everything is just off of the road now. Anything going in the right direction? Okay, the ETK is. But that's just going to shove the Caldera out of the way. The Persima, that's going in the right direction. The Caldera isn't, but I'm not going to be able to turn this quickly enough, I don't think, to avoid the massive collision which is about to ensue. There's a little bump off the front. Let's get this in reverse. Okay, they're stuck together now, are they? And I think it stole the front bumper. Yeah, the front bumpers are connected. And well, the Caldera was the one in front to start with, so the Persima's going to be the one that gets pulled apart this time. It's definitely been a while since we've had a massive collision like this. I can't even remember the last time we had a mass collision like this. Maybe back in one of the earlier rounds. And is that them separated now? Okay, they just need to get in reverse, because the Pursue is going in the right direction. And the Caldera, if this thing's still got a in-piece fuel tank, I will be very surprised about that. And let's get it going again. Let's get it. Okay, this is sliding even with me driving it. Alright, let's get it going again, which it is. Okay, the pigeon's actually caught up to the Caldera. That's how bad this thing is on wheel spin. And can we get this thing on random before it smashes into the wall? Because it's still on the racing line, just about. Now then, is it going to get going again? Okay, where's it going? Okay, oh no, it's just going to slide its way into the wall. Of course it is. Now, what about, let's have a look up front first. Okay, here's a bit of contact which probably needs dealing with. What are they going to do with it themselves? Either way, the rear bumper, the Persima's just being pulled apart here. Let's get hold of this rear bumper, pull it slowly so it doesn't destroy the front of the Supra. Okay, it's just wrapped itself inside the Supra. That's also broken the front windscreen of it, but the front windscreen is the least of the car's issues. I can actually get this thing pulled out. It's taken the Supra's hood with it. Pretty much. But now that should be them going. Okay, the Supra's launched itself. Are you going to land okay? Well, best I think it could do out of all of that, in all honesty. Everything just got through turn 1. That's how far behind. That's how, well, I say far behind, that's how little progress everything has made so far. There's a hubcap from something. Just need to get the Caldera under control and then remove its demonic spoiler. Because you've seen from the last time, that thing, once it becomes detached in any single way, yeah, then it needs to completely just go. If this thing, like I said before, it's got a fuel tank intact, I'll be very surprised. I'm even struggling to put the power down on this thing now. I didn't think this car was actually one of them that was aero effective. What is that spoiler doing? It's just doing flips. Yeah, that's definitely another reason why that spoiler has to go. You need to grab hold of it and pull it off, and that should be the end of the demonicness. Okay, the Persima's off the road somehow. The pigeon is surprisingly actually still going. And is the Persima going to get going at all, or in the right direction? It's going to reverse back onto the road, and it's going to go straight into the wall on the other side. That's very much too much reverse. And is it going to get going again in the right direction? It looks like it is, but it's now in last place. Somehow the Caldera, the crippled Caldera with a puncture, is not in last place. And now then, the ETK better hope it has some good defensive skills. Okay, the front splitter is also dragging under the car, but I don't want to pull off every single piece of the car, so that should be okay for now. Is the steering broken? I'm pretty sure the steering's broken on this car, because no way it should be able to miss that corner. Okay, that wheel's definitely broken, but it has got going again. I don't know if it's four-wheel drive or not. I'm just gonna guess and hope it isn't, because this wheel has to go. Because either way, if I left that wheel on, it was going to be out anyway, regardless of how slow it was going. So then, with that wheel gone, okay, there's a lot more pace, so it's definitely rear-wheel drive at least. Okay, the Caldera has looped itself around. How about up front? Anything happened? Not all too much. Now then, let's get the Caldera once again going back in the right direction. And in the last few rounds, have actually been fairly short. This is definitely not going to be one of them. Is this going to get going again before the Persima comes and smashes into it? Just try and get it turned round. Okay, the Persima's gone through, but I don't think that matters all too much at this moment. Let's floor it, there we go. I don't know why the Caldera spins off. I mean, it's got a lot of power, yeah, but in its crippled condition, with how the AI usually drive really slowly when the car's crippled, I thought this thing would have been alright. But now then, the Supra is smoking away. And when we had the first Supra in, which was the street-tuned one, as soon as that thing started smoking, that was usually the beginning of the end for it. Well, technically it is for every car, but if it started smoking, there was no way it was going to finish the round. This is also the furthest the Pigeon has made it on any of the runs I've ever done with it. Got the ETK, which is a lot slower than it should be. This thing, on the description, is meant to have 1,206 horsepower. Well, that would be if it had its 4 turbos, not its just usual bog standard engine. Okay, these two have now found each other, the Persima and the Caldera. Persima on 3 wheels. This thing's not going to have any defense. It's going to get shoved hard into the wall, but it could have been a lot worse. At least it's carried the momentum through, like, didn't just smash straight into it. Now, is it going to do a J-turn and get it back going again? Well, it's facing the right direction. Now it's just put some power down, and there we go. But even though it is still in last place. And now then, the Pigeon. That isn't too far in front of the Caldera, and if the Caldera has its usual bonnet scoop, which it kind of does, well, that looks fairly scoopish to me. It's like more of a plough in this case, but still. As soon as this thing catches up to the Pigeon, I think that might be it for it. I mean, it's an achievement in itself that it's actually managed to make it as far as it has, but you see, it's not really going all that fast, going at 26 mile an hour around here, when the Caldera is doing somewhere about 50-ish mile an hour, so yeah. The Pigeon is not going to be in for a very nice time, and neither is the ETK now that the Pursuit has actually caught up to it. How much of a fight is ETK going to put up? Because I don't think the Super is going to get around. We'll see how bent the radiator is on it. But now then, has the Caldera is literally right behind the Pigeon now. Okay, that's huge contact there. Are they locked together now? They're going to start bouncing along the road. And yep, that's them definitely locked together. Of all the things that would have happened, that was probably the least eventful thing that could have happened. Now, I need to somehow remove the front bumper and everything from the front of the Caldera from the Pigeon, because if the Pigeon loses a rear wheel, then it doesn't go anywhere. I think it's 4-wheel drive. Or at least it's rear-wheel drive anyway. Is that the Pigeon wheel? I don't know what's part of the Caldera anymore, or what's actually part of the Pigeon. I'm just going to guess this is the front of the Caldera. Which it is, and I just need to pull that to the side and try and just get it out. Or just detach it so I know what I'm actually pulling. And that looks like a node for the front bumper. You need to get a hold of that and just pull straight up. And if it disintegrates as well, that's even better, because I don't have to pull anything out because it doesn't exist anymore. Now then, is that a node for this? Yes, it is. Let's just pull that out to the side, or just put it through the floor, whichever ends up happening. Let's see what that's done, because I'm not sure what more I can pull, really. Well, either way, it's just definitely... Oh, the spoiler's gone at least. I'll say at least. It stole the spoiler. Oh, the spoiler already gone. I hadn't actually noticed if whether or not the spoiler was actually there or not before. But now, I don't think there's actually anything left to grab that with. So I'm just going to have to guess that one. Actually, this is the right one. And just try and pull it out. We can just see it's just glitching the more I pull it. And it looks like these two are really stuck together. I mean, there is one other thing I can try, which is just grab hold of any part of the front of the caldera, and then just remove it. Because it looks like that needs to go as well. The hood needs to get everything. Yeah, I knew this car would cause issues. I didn't think this would be the issue though. That it just completely stretches through the wheel. Come and get hold of that piece. There we go. That should be everything out now. Or are these two still stuck together? There's one little piece left. Okay, there's a Pasima just coming to add to the issues. Okay, this is literally a snake car. Let's have a quick look at the fight up front, because I completely forgot all about that. The ETK seems to be doing a fairly good job of keeping itself in front. But now then, the Caldera is the car that's the issue. Okay, everything's completely stopped now, so let's go on board here with Caldera. And now I'm just going to do what I think I did this before in a previous episode with like one of the first ones. Just grab the Caldera and pull it straight up. Okay, that's got the Pasima out at least. Yeah, everything's... What's it doing? Why is the Pasima... Okay, is the ETK going round? I think it is. No, it saved itself. Okay. Let's get back on board now with the Pasima. Let's get this thing back on its wheels again. And just, it's got itself stuck again, really. I separated it, and now it's got itself stuck again. Just pull it by the roof. That's it, back on its wheels at least, anyway. Right, let's put it on disabled. Because, well, I think this whole situation has become rather disabled, really, hasn't it? That should be them separated, by the looks of it. And let's just get the Pasima going, get it round, and get it out of the way. At this point, with how much it's smoking, I don't think it's going to finish anyway. So I don't really think it makes too much difference, really. Now then, back to these two. How are these two still stuck? What are they stuck by? I know it's on the rear wheel, but I can't actually see where it's stuck. I think it's by the frame or something. The thing is, I don't want to pull on the front of the car in case it like breaks the engine or something. But with a high clutch temperature, I don't think there's much hope for the car anyway. Actually pulling it is stuck to the rear wheel of the Pigeon. I don't think there's any way of it actually coming out. But these two are also stuck on the racing line. There we go. That might have killed both cars, but I think it's what had to happen, really. Is the Caldera getting itself back on its wheels? Yes, it is, but does it still drive? Well, I need to remove the other front fender anyway, because that wheel isn't even on the ground at this point. So let's just pull that out of the way, and might as well just remove the hood while I'm at it as well, and whatever else that was. Unless that's still attached. Well, that should be everything gone. Okay, well, it's now in the roof, but it's out of the way at least. And then get itself back on the road. Does it still steer? I don't know. Let's try and get it going again anyway. Okay, the back wheels... Well, a back wheel is on the ground. So let's try and get it back going again. Then it's going to floor it forwards and see if it goes anywhere. Yes, it is, very slowly. But it does, crucially though, still actually move. So it can still continue, although it is going to need quite a bit of work, I think, to actually get it to drive again. Unless that wheel touches the floor now, which it is, so might be okay actually. Is the Supra in the lead? No, it's not. Okay, what about the Pigeon? That's not going anywhere at all quickly. Let's put that on a disabled and see if I can get it moving. No, that's back on random. That's not going to do anyone any favours. Back on disabled. Okay, now then, is that rear wheel jammed? Okay, it goes backwards. Now will it go forwards? A little bit. No, if I put it in reverse, then it goes fine in reverse. It won't go fine forwards though, which doesn't make any sense really. Okay, there we go. Just needs to keep the momentum up to actually get it to go somewhere. And let's put that back on random. And see now. Okay, the wheel's actually fixed itself now. It's actually got it going, so there's still a fight to get through into the next round, but here comes the ETK, which is a lot faster. The Persima's actually made it round, I forgot about this, onto the second lap. The Caldera isn't really going anywhere. It's actually now about to get lapped in the near future. I think the Supra's given up by the looks of it. Okay, the tyre's destroyed itself now on the Pigeon, which is just going to make it go even slower, but it is crucially out of last place. But it can actually get... okay. Well, this might help it, the fact that the ETK ran over a bit of the bumper and got it jammed in the rear wheel. So I just need to pull that and see if that's made any difference. Because I know it's four-wheel drive, but how's the other rear wheel doing? That is okay. But it's all about this wheel. So everything, this has definitely been one of the most crash-filled damage, definitely one of the most damage-filled rounds. Let's get hold of that. No, we're going to have to get hold of the rear wheel then, because otherwise this thing isn't going anywhere. That should be problem solved now. Or is this going to spin off to the side? It's not run everything else at the front, has it? I mean, that should be it okay. No, it's going to try and drag itself around. Okay, it's definitely still going. The Persima is somehow still going. The Caldera has seen better days. But it is still somehow working, but it definitely needs a bit of a shove up on the back to actually get some traction with its puncture. It's not really actually going anywhere. I need to try and lift up the back of it a little bit. I mean, that's probably the most that I can do. And see if it can actually get itself going now. It needs to literally get going right now. Okay, what is this thing at the front as well? That's just sticking down, which isn't going to do it any favours either. Okay, that's all I can... I've literally done everything now that I can do for this car. To get itself back going again. But is it stuck on the curb? Or is it given up? Well, it's a lap down now anyway, so... Even if it's... Well, it gets going now, but it's already been lapped, so... it's like this could be the last round that we see the Caldera in. Yeah, the Pursuit's definitely out. The Pigeon is actually going to make it, seriously. Well, there's going to be a lot more mayhem in the next round as well then. This thing is going so much faster, even on three wheels. This thing is just so much faster than the Pigeon, and the Caldera is just wiggling its way now to the finish. And now then, coming up to the final corner, is it going to make it around? I mean, the wheel keeps getting stuck, but at this point, I'm pretty sure the Pigeon has actually made it onto second lap. If this thing hadn't got stuck, then no way was the Pigeon actually making it. Now then, it comes now around the second to last corner. The Persima is still going, surprisingly. The Caldera is going around in a circle, unsurprisingly. And the Pigeon is on the second lap. We now have to wait to see if this can actually get around the second lap. And now then, on three wheels and still grinding away, because I think the wheel's actually still there, but the ETK coming up to the finish line, and the ETK, which is incorrectly powered, still actually takes victory. I mean, the Supra was out as soon as it stopped working, but officially now the Pursuit is out of the next round, and this thing should stop fairly quickly, which it does. Now then, in second place now is the Persima, and it's going to be a while until this thing actually gets round. Now then, let's see if we can actually get the Caldera to finish properly. Put it on disabled, hit the brake, because that's going straight into the wall otherwise, which is going straight into the wall then anyway. I mean, points for effort for this thing definitely, because I don't honestly know how anything this mangled can actually still move at any decent amount of pace. Well, that's it going in a straight line now, at least, at about 30-40 mile an hour, which is what you usually need to get it up to stop it spinning round. And then that should be it okay to get going now. And yes it is, that's it going fine. Now then, the wheel's fixed itself again. How does that wheel on the Pigeon keep fixing itself I'm sure it punctured like 30 seconds ago. Anyway, Basima is still going, but now then, the Pursuit. Is that on the racing line? Because if it is, it could take another car out with it. It's, yeah, the massive dent in the radiator. That was never going to make it round. Now then, if the Basima's got any chance of getting through, it needs a clean pass here on the Pursuit, as the Caldera is now coming up to the final corner, and it's going to finish it at least, but it's a lap down, so it's not really going to matter that much. Now then, coming around the final corner, is the Caldera going to have any say against the ETK? Coming up to the finish line, what's left of the Caldera finishes a lap down and is definitely out of the next round, but at least it doesn't come in last place. You can take some solace from that, I would presume. And then is it going to smash into the ETK? It's going to nudge the side of it, I think. There we go, just give it a little tap on the side. And so it's going to scrape all the way along the side. And well, it's going to finish in front at least, but that's the only thing it's going to do remotely in front of anything today. And now then, the Pasima's right behind the Supra, and the Supra's on the racing line. Now then, the Supra gets shoved round and completely dealt with. But I think it might still be a little bit on the racing line, because we've still got the Pigeon with its wheel, which is punctured now for like the 5th time, if it ever actually gets there. But now then, the Caldera is very mangled. What's this look like inside? Pretty much as bad as it does on the outside. So the roll cage definitely did its job. You see how bent it is though, but honestly the roll cage stopped this thing becoming a pancake for definite. And the Pigeon, I think, may have actually stopped working this time. And now it's just going to have to wait now for the Pasima to actually get round to the finish. Pasima's actually made it round, steaming on 3 wheels. As for the Pigeon, I don't even know what it's doing. But the tyre is that's going now. Is it? Okay, what? It fixed itself a little bit, so the more it goes, the more it fixes itself, it seems. But if this thing can't really get going soon, then I'm going to have to count it out by virtue of it going really, really slowly. But now then, coming up to the final few corners now, come on Pasima, you've made it this far round. Well, you're on 2 full wheels, 1 missing and 1 puncture. And smoking away as well. And inside, actually looks fairly okay, really. You see the Nomi seats are a bit, somehow the seats have got damaged, but from everything this car's been through in this round, I'm not really all that surprised. Now then, coming around the final corner now, so surely even if it gives up now, it's going to cross the finish line. And just a little bit further to go. Come on Pasima. And it's made it, so the Pasima gets there in 2nd place. Once again, still not finding that all-elusive first victory, but after the beating it took through this round, just making it round to the finish line, I guess, is definitely a victory for this car. Now then, the Pigeon has actually found some good speed now. And it's coming up though to the Pursuit, which is on the racing line, I think. Just about, and with how this thing is open wheel, it's not going to do any favours, and it actually scoops past it. And things are not going well underneath this car, are they? And can you even see what that looks like from inside? You can see it rocking. You can see the sparks and everything out there. The rear window's gone. Yeah, this things are not being very happy under the car. And well, it's across the finish line, so that's all that matters. So even if it doesn't work now, then, like I said, it doesn't actually matter. We all just have to wait now to see whether or not the Pigeon can actually make it to the finish line. Well, it hasn't got much further, but it's going at 1 mile an hour. So I'm honestly going to have to call time on this car, because I'm not waiting for it to go around the rest of the track at 1 mile an hour. So yeah, the Pigeon is out of the next round as well. So then, getting the surviving cars lined up, somehow this very unhappy ETK actually still drives. I would not have thought that for how unhappy everything underneath it is. Pasima, that still works. Well, I guess it not moving anywhere may have actually cooled it down a little bit. These are the only 2 cars to make it properly over the finish line. I mean, yeah, The Caldeira's here, but that's because it's lapped. So for the best surviving car, well, it's definitely not the Pursue, definitely not the Pigeon. So it definitely has to be, well, it has to be a DTK then, doesn't it? Because that thing, I know I ripped the wheel off, I know things are very unhappy underneath it, but besides that, there's nothing actually all that wrong with it. So remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And to join my Discord server, which will be linked in the description down below, along with my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So if you can follow me and all of them as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.